Hello to all my fellow proud Indians and welcome back to Soldiers of India. As promised in my previous video, where I talk about the cause of disabled cadet officers of the Indian Armed Forces, I have with me today Mr. Ankur Chaturvedi, sir. For those of you who don't know him, Mr. Ankur Chaturvedi is someone that has been championing the cause of disabled army cadets since a few years now. He is someone who himself aspired to become an Indian Army officer like his father, joined the NDA, got injured during training and was medically boarded out. Now, luckily for Sir, his disability wasn't permanent and he could take it in his stride and move forward and build a career for himself. Today, he is the head of international supply chain and projects at a multinational company called Imami Limited, which again is an example of how capable and talented our officer cadets are and why they need to be rehabilitated and not left abandoned. For those of you who haven't watched my video, I will urge you to go watch it because it will explain to you in detail the plight, the disheartening situation of our disabled officer cadets. I'm extremely honored to have Sir with us today. He will be taking us through step by step with exactly what is happening regarding this cause, why our disabled officer cadets are not getting the justice they deserve. Now, for those of you who don't know about this cause, let me very briefly tell you. These are people who, while getting trained to get commissioned as officers of the Indian Armed Forces, get injured and in turn become disabled because of the extremely rigorous physical training that they have to undergo. And what happens with these cadets after that? They are medically boarded out of the academy without disability pension, without medical cover, or ex-serviceman status, or rehabilitation of any kind. So yes, I will not waste any more time. Let's get straight into the interview with Mr. Ankur Chaturvedi, sir. A very good afternoon to you, sir, and thank you so much for taking out the time to come on to our channel and, of course, for all the great work that you've been doing towards this cause.
Jai Hind, and thank you very much for inviting me and supporting the cause of disabled cadets.
तो शुरुआत से शुरू करते हैं सर कि जब आपने इस कॉज के बारे में बैटल आपका जब शुरू हुआ, जर्नी शुरू हुई, तो कैसे आपने यू वर कोऑर्डिनेटिंग विद मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ डिफेंस आल्सो, आर्मी हेडक्वार्टर्स आल्सो, क्या सिचुएशन थी, क्या आपको वहां से जवाब मिलता था, आपने कई पेटिशंस फाइल की, कई चीजें आपने की, तो वो क्या प्रोसेस था पूरा?
मैं इस जर्नी को कैटेगराइज करूं, if I call it the fight for justice to disabled cadets. As far as I'm concerned, it started when I came across a guy who was medically boarded out and was really struggling. उस टाइम पर मुझे लगा कि मैं अपनी जिंदगी में ठीक ठाक एस्टैब्लिश हो गया हूँ, एक अच्छी नौकरी में हूँ, ठीक ठाक कमा रहा हूँ, जिंदगी चल रही है, तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि ये मुद्दा छोड़ दिया जाए, क्योंकि एक बहुत अहम मुद्दा है और जो एक बहुत कटु सत्य है वो ये है कि जिनको सबसे ज्यादा सपोर्ट की जरूरत होती है वो इस लायक नहीं होते कि वो लड़ सके। तो उस टाइम पर मैंने डिसाइड किया कि ये भगवान ने मुझे इस लायक बनाया है कि मैं लड़ सकूं, तो शायद दिस इज अ बैटल दैट गॉड चोज मी टू फाइट। आई कैन नॉट फाइट एज अ सोल्जर, बट आई माइट एज वेल फाइट फॉर द सोल्जर, एंड दैट इज व्हेन आई started this fight. And initially I would not even call it a fight. Initially it was more of trying to support people who get boarded out, speaking to academies how we can help in their resettlement at my own level. But later on, when I became aware of the policies, how the government is supposed to be helping these people, how the policies are there and not being implemented, is when I started taking it up with the authority. Now, the biggest impetus to solving this problem of disabled cadets came when Mr. Manohar Parrikar took over as the Minister of Defense. In 2015, when I contacted him, he was very proactive. So few things which are very minor but have a major impact on the lives of cadets. Like a cadet of NDA who's being boarded out was given a certificate of training. He was given important telephone numbers, the sequence of a booklet containing all the benefits that he would be entitled to. These are minor things that Manohar Parrikar ji immediately got implemented through the commandant of the academy, who's now the chief of the Indian Air Force, Air Chief Marshal Bhadoria. Now, after this, there was a committee set up by the defense minister to look at ways of reducing litigation. Interestingly, the Ministry of Defense is the largest litigant in India. Most of the cases that they fight are against the soldiers. Department of Ex-Servicemen Welfare, which is made to do welfare for the ex-servicemen, in most cases is standing and denying the benefits to these veterans.
That is a revelation. Who would have thought that this is the scenario?
And interestingly, since we are on this topic, I had filed an RTI asking that every time, first of all, when something is due to a soldier, you don't give it. You force him to go to court. Once he goes to a lower court and gets a judgment in his favor, the ministry still does not give it, but files the appeal in the Supreme Court.
Oh my God.
Now, I had filed an RTI asking how many appeals have been filed and in how many appeals the claim of the litigant has been denied. So normally, if you see that every appeal is being challenged, so at least 50% or some decent percentage would be overturned by the Supreme Court. But surprisingly, out of a few thousand cases, only 6 cases were overruled by the Supreme Court. So if I look at it, going that Supreme Court gave the right judgment, 6 erroneous judgments of the lower courts were there, for which thousands of people were made to suffer. And by whom? By the Department of Ex-Servicemen Welfare. So Manohar Parrikar set up a committee to reduce litigation. What are the steps he can do? And this committee of experts also looked at the issue of disabled cadets. Now, this committee recommended that the ex gratia being paid to cadets today, the nomenclature of this be changed to disability pension, and the quantum be linked to the salary of an officer, and the ex-servicemen benefits and resettlement benefits be provided to cadets. Now, this is something which was given by a committee of experts. Now, I did not choose these experts.
Yes.
These experts were chosen by the government. Now, unfortunately, this committee report came out in 2015. Till today, it has not been implemented. Now, if the government did not want to implement, then why the hell did you make the committee in the first place? The sad part is that the minister himself was very keen to implement the recommendations. It is the lower bureaucracy, when the Department of Ex-Servicemen Welfare was told to implement these recommendations or to work at implementing these recommendations. So Department of Ex-Servicemen Welfare then sent this proposal to all and sundry asking for their views. Now the Army headquarters, Naval headquarters, Air headquarters, all 3 of them replied saying that yes, this recommendation should be implemented. Even the Controller of Defense Accounts said yes, this can be implemented. And when this came back, Department of Ex-Servicemen Welfare, instead of implementing it, again sent back saying that no, for implementing this, it requires a change in recruitment rules. A cadet needs to be brought under the Service Act, which is the Army Act, Navy Act, and Air Force Act. And during the period of his training, he needs to be paid a salary. Now, these are unnecessary points being raised by the lowest level of bureaucracy. Yeah. I'll share something very interesting with you. In the 7th Pay Commission, unlike the IAS or other government services, the defense forces don't get an opportunity to present their view to the Pay Commission. You just send a formal letter and there is no discussion on that. So the defense, the armed forces, the recommendation that the Armed Forces Pay Cell sent to the Pay Commission, it had recommended disability pension for cadets. But the Pay Commission, very surprisingly, wrote that it cannot be granted because cadets are not on duty. Now, madam, if a cadet is not on duty, you think they are doing adventure sports there? Look at the training of a cadet.
It is so ridiculous.
Even sleep by order.
Yeah.
A cadet cannot sleep without order.
Absolutely.
So 24 hours he's on duty, he's training to defend you and me.
Every minute of the training is accounted for. So how is he not on duty?
Yes. And surprisingly, I've just found this out. I had raised this matter with the Petitions Committee of the Rajya Sabha, and so the Department of Ex-Servicemen Welfare has very conveniently, the committee report came after the pay commission. So I had asked that why is the Department of Ex-Servicemen Welfare denying this? So Department of Ex-Servicemen Welfare has very conveniently used this term that cadet is not on duty from the pay commission report and denied everything that is given by the expert committee.
If a person is choosing the uniform over a zillion other options, all these cadets, as we know, are academically and physically brilliant, have chosen the uniform, right? After that, also, they've cleared the entrances that they're required to and are getting trained before they get commissioned. So, how is this not a part of duty?
Man, the committee of experts used a very interesting term, hyper technical objections of the Ministry of Defense.
How do they not fall under the Army Act?
Well, again, this is a lie. A cadet surrenders his right to liberty, which is a constitutional right. A cadet cannot join a political party, which is a right that you and I enjoy from the Constitution of India. Constitutional liberties can only be withheld via the Service Acts. So why to withdraw his liberty, you say he's under the Service Act. But then when it comes to giving his benefit, then you say, no, you're not under the Act. Okay, for a moment, let's keep this argument aside. If I look at the advertisement, the UPSC notification calling for applications for CDS entry, which is for IMA, Air Force Academy and Naval Academy, it says successful candidates will be enrolled as gentlemen cadets under the Army Act. So effectively, you're telling me that before I join, you tell me that if you are selected, you will be enrolled under the Army Act. But if I get disabled, then you say I am not. Now again, you can say this is only an advertisement. There might be a mistake. So this mistake has been happening every year for the last 50 years plus. Interestingly, we have found the Special Army instructions, which are instructions or the regulations formed by the Army, which clearly say that a gentleman cadet of the Indian Military Academy will be enrolled under the Army Act. And despite presenting a copy of this SAI, the lower bureaucracy in the Ministry of Defense continues to lie that the cadet are not covered under Army Act. And interestingly, I've been asking this question and no one has been able to reply this. Where is it written? By which law are you saying that the cadet needs to be covered under Army Act?
Actually, yeah, that's a very valid question.
आप अपनी तरफ से ऑब्जेक्शन क्रिएट कर रहे हैं, आप अपने दिमाग के पुलाव बना रहे हैं और फिर जो असली रूल पोजीशन है उसको आप फॉलो नहीं कर रहे हैं. ये कहाँ का न्याय है? और वो भी किनके साथ? उन लड़कों और लड़कियों के साथ जो अपनी जान आपके और हमारे लिए देने के लिए तैयार है. उनके लिए हम ये नीच दर्जे का झूठ बोल रहे हैं.
Sir, so the first condition that Department of Ex-Servicemen Welfare in the Ministry of Defense says is that the gentlemen cadets don't fall under the Army Act, right? Can you tell us about the second condition as well?
Well, the second condition is that they're not receiving salary. Now, so the interesting part is there was a circular which came out which granted something to the cadets. The heading says grant of fixed pay to gentlemen cadets, which will be called by the name stipend. Now it is, so the circular itself says that it is fixed pay, but it is being called stipend. It includes a basic pay plus grade pay in pay band 10. Now in the central government, there are various pay bands which define the seniority.
Yes.
So you are also giving a grade of pay band 10 to these people. You are giving them a basic salary. And then how can you say this is not salary?
Yeah.
Another interesting part is when it comes to taking income tax, this income that is accrued to a gentleman cadet is taxed as income from salary. But when it comes to considering benefits to cadets, you say, no, this is not salary, this is stipend. But under the Income Tax Act, stipend is not taxable. So how can the government, when it comes to taking tax, say that it is salary, and when it comes to giving benefits, say that it is stipend?
So they just use these loopholes as per their convenience in order to not provide the benefits to the cadet officers.
Ma'am, I would say they don't use the loopholes. They create these artificial obstacles. These are not loopholes. These are artificial obstacles being created.
Yes.
First of all, this person who's made that file noting, who's written that cadets need to be brought under Army Act and they need to be paid salary. I would like to ask, where is that written that these two conditions need to be fulfilled? By which law? Show me that.
Absolutely.
No one has asked him that. The problem is that the lower bureaucracy, when they start a file, whatever they write, it goes right up and no one challenges that. And the lower bureaucracy, we all know from our experience how good the lower bureaucracy is. We all know what the lower bureaucracy does in India.
Yes.
I don't need to elaborate that.
Yes.
So the same bureaucracy, either is at a collectorate office, the same people go and get posted in DSW. So there also it's the same attitude.
तो अब ये सिचुएशन कहाँ पहुंची है सर? अब आज जो सिचुएशन है, एक जो लेटर भी सर्कुलेट हो रहा था बीच में, विच वाज सेंट टू ब्रिगेडियर करतार सिंह, वो भी एक बहुत अलग पिक्चर पेंट कर रहा था सबको. वो देख के एक बार लगता है कि अरे ये तो मतलब सब जो हैं राइट्स इनको मिली हुई है, एवरीथिंग दैट वी आर फाइटिंग फॉर, ये तो मतलब द बैटल हैज बीन वन. प्लीज एक्सप्लेन टू अस कि ये लेटर क्या है और ये कैसी, क्यों एक फॉल्स पिक्चर पेंट कर रहा है, और जो रियलिटी है इट्स फार फ्रॉम व्हाट इट्स ट्राइंग टू प्रोजेक्ट.
मैडम, मैं आपसे इसका जवाब देने से पहले आपसे कुछ सवाल पूछना चाहूंगा.
ओके.
एक जवान लड़का या लड़की जो कोई भी और करियर चुन सकता है, आज देश के लिए, आपके और मेरे लिए एक यूनिफॉर्म पहनता है और एकेडमी ज्वाइन करता है. और इसलिए नहीं ज्वाइन करता कि आज उसका मन हुआ वो जाके एकेडमी पहुंच गया. ये कोई हिंदी मूवी नहीं है. उसको एक कड़ी परीक्षा से यूपीएससी एग्जाम होता है, एसएसबी इंटरव्यू होता है, उसके बाद वो सेलेक्ट होता है. कई अटेम्प्ट्स के बाद लोग सेलेक्ट होते हैं.
यस.
और वो अगर उसे चोट लग जाए तो क्या उसे उस चोट का और उसकी जो रिलेटेड मेडिकल कंडीशंस हैं उसके इलाज जिंदगी भर जो उसको करना पड़ेगा, उसकी जिम्मेदारी एज अ कंट्री आपको और मुझे नहीं उठानी चाहिए?
100% उठानी चाहिए. और ना सिर्फ उनकी मेडिकल कवर तो ठीक है कि उनकी इलाज होना चाहिए, उनको रिहैबिलिटेट भी हमारी ही जिम्मेदारी है.
एग्जैक्टली. मेरा अगला सवाल यही होने वाला था कि क्या आप चाहती हैं, आज हमारी सरकार हर तरफ सरकारी नौकरियां बांटती है, क्या इन लोगों को एक जिंदगी, एक जीने का मौका, टू लीव अ लाइफ ऑफ डिग्निटी नहीं देना चाहिए? आपने सुना होगा कुछ दिनों पहले शुभम गुप्ता का केस, जिसकी व्हीलचेयर के लिए हमें लड़ाई करनी पड़ी. अरे क्या जरूरत है? मैं बहुत आभारी हूँ हिंदुस्तान के नागरिकों का. हमारे हिंदुस्तानियों ने जिस तरह से आगे आया और शुभम को सपोर्ट किया, लेकिन क्या शुभम को हमें खैरात देनी चाहिए? Is it not his right that the government gives it?
It absolutely is. He should get what he deserves, what he is rightful for. और ये तो मतलब बहुत ही शर्म की बात है कि उसके एक व्हीलचेयर के लिए भी हमको इतनी लड़ाई लड़नी पड़ी है.
You asked me about this letter which was written to Brigadier Kartar Singh. Now, Brigadier Kartar Singh, when he saw this issue on social media, he wrote to the Chief of Defence Staff, General Bipin Rawat, asking him to address this issue. So the office of the CDS replied to him, putting the current policy on paper. मैडम, असली लड़ाई तो वो करंट पॉलिसी से ही है. वो पॉलिसी क्या कहती है? एक कैडेट को एक सर्विसमैन स्टेटस नहीं दिया जाएगा, उसको मंथली एक्स ग्रेशिया दिया जाएगा जो 9,000 रुपए पर मंथ है. और 9,000 रुपए पर मंथ क्यों है? क्योंकि 9,000 रुपए एक लोएस्ट लेवल ऑफ सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट की सैलरी का 50% होता है. तो जो एक कैडेट एक इंडियन आर्मी का ऑफिसर बनने वाला था, अगर वो डिसेबल हो जाता है तो आपको उसको एक्स ग्रेशिया, आप एक पियोन, एक चपरासी के लेवल का आप उसको एक्स ग्रेशिया दे रहे हैं. फॉर अ मोमेंट एक कैडेट की बात में अगर करूं, मैं आपको मिसेस करखा की बात करूं, सतवीर सिंह, who died, he was a topper in NDA.
Yes.
He was the best naval cadet of the National Defence Academy.
Yes.
Then after National Defence Academy, he went for his further training to the Naval Academy, where he met with an accident while doing whaler sailing, and he died.
Yes.
उसकी माँ को जिसका बेटा ड्यूटी करते हुए मर गया उसको आप 9,000 रुपए दे रही हैं एक चपरासी की पेंशन।
सर, जैसे अभी आपने हमें सतवीर सिंह के बारे में बताया दैट ही डाइड ड्यूरिंग ट्रेनिंग, व्हाट हैपेंस आफ्टर दैट एंड how many such cases have happened?
See, military training is hazardous. You cannot make a soldier by making them play video games. So when you put a person to a military training, there is a risk, and risk will cause injury and even death. The sad part is the way this is treated. There are two other cadets who died in IMA. Deepak Sharma from Punjab and Naveen Chetri from Darjeeling in West Bengal.
Oh.
Now these two GCs were in a training camp in the military academy. A camp is like a simulated battle where you are actually training and doing things that you would normally do in a wartime.
Yeah.
And in that, they are supposed to move from point A to point B, and various exercises are done. During that camp, Naveen and Deepak collapsed and they were taken to the hospital and they died. Naveen's parents are still fighting to find out the exact cause, what exactly happened to their son. And Naveen's father is also a retired ex-serviceman. Their families are given just 9,000 rupees a cadet. Any soldier who dies on duty, his family is given a special family pension.
Yes.
There are various other benefit schemes which are given to these bereaved families. But when it comes to a cadet, उनको वो एक चपरासी के लेवल का 9,000 रुपया पकड़ा दिया जाता है और साथ में एक CSD कैंटीन फैसिलिटी भी मिलती है, तो they can go and buy things from the canteen and that's it. ना उनको मेडिकल सपोर्ट है. मतलब आप सोचिए, जिस पूरे माँ बाप जिनका इकलौता बच्चा अगर गुजर जाए तो वो क्या करेंगे. 9,000 रुपए पर मंथ, दैट्स इट. अब दूसरी बात आती है टर्म एक्स ग्रेशिया. एक्स ग्रेशिया का मतलब होता है अनुभूति अनुदान. अमाउंट पेड व्हेन नन इज ड्यू. मतलब एक एहसान किया जा रहा है आपको ये देके. मैडम, मुझे इस शब्द से बहुत बहुत सीरियस आपत्ति है. ये आप किसी पे एहसान नहीं कर रहे हैं. ये कैडेट को आप जो एक्स ग्रेशिया दे रहे हैं ये उसका ड्यू है, उसको आप एक्स ग्रेशिया नहीं बोल सकते. एक्स ग्रेशिया तो जो देसी शराब पी के मर जाते हैं उनको भी दिया जाता है. आप उनको और एक कैडेट को जो ड्यूटी पे इंजर हुआ है इक्वेट नहीं कर सकते.
बिल्कुल नहीं कर सकते.
अब क्योंकि आप इसको एक्स ग्रेशिया बोलते हैं और डिसेबिलिटी पेंशन नहीं बोलते, इसलिए कैडेट को एक्स सर्विसमैन का दर्जा नहीं मिलता, जिसकी वजह से उसको ट्रीटमेंट की फैसिलिटीज भी नहीं मिलती. आज हमारी सेना में बहुत सारे अच्छे लोग हैं जो शुभम जैसे लोगों को डिस्पाइट नॉट हैविंग अ क्लियर रूल पोजीशन वो सपोर्ट कर देते हैं. शुभम को भटिंडा एमएच में कमांड हॉस्पिटल में भी ट्रीट कर देते हैं. लेकिन ये उनकी गुडविल पे है, ये मैटर ऑफ पॉलिसी नहीं है.
एग्जैक्टली.
मैम, जिसको ड्यूटी पे चोट लगे, जिसको देश के लिए ट्रेनिंग करते टाइम चोट लगे, उसके इलाज का खर्चा देश को उठाना क्या सही नहीं है? क्या उसके माँ बाप, एक लड़के को आप एक जवान बच्चे को अपाहिज करके माँ बाप के ऊपर लायबिलिटी बना देना, क्या ये वेलफेयर स्टेट का काम है? चिट्ठी पे अगर वापस आए तो उस चिट्ठी में पेंशन के साथ साथ इंश्योरेंस अमाउंट्स के बारे में भी था. अरे मैडम, इंश्योरेंस तो कैडेट के पेरेंट्स खुद पैसा दे के प्रीमियम भरते हैं. वो प्रीमियम भरते हैं इसलिए उनको इंश्योरेंस मिल रहा है. इसमें गवर्नमेंट क्या एहसान कर रही है? इट इज नॉट अ बेनिफिट प्रोवाइडेड बाय द गवर्नमेंट. It is provided by the Army Group Insurance Fund or the Naval Group Insurance Fund or the Air Force Group Insurance Fund, which are private societies who charge premium on individuals, and basis the premium they give the return. तो इसमें गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से क्या हो रहा है? लेकिन उस चिट्ठी में इस तरह से दिखाया गया कि ये गवर्नमेंट दे रही.
So, sir, what would you like to tell the people of India if you would like to give them a message? What would you like to tell them?
I am very grateful to the people of India, people like you, who have stood by disabled soldiers, who have stood by disabled cadets. Whenever I talk, I am yet to find a person who's not empathized with this cause. I would request everyone to come forward and support this cause and somehow make the powers that be. I'm sure, see, whenever we have taken an issue to the current defense minister also,
Yeah.
there was an issue of a cadet who was being treated for cancer and he was boarded out. So once he's boarded out, he cannot get his treatment. So the defense minister intervened and allowed his treatment to continue. There was another case where a cadet was being boarded out in his 5th term from NDA. So if he was boarded out, he could not complete his graduation. So 2.5 years of degree that he had done would have gone waste. So he was allowed to appear in the exams. All these interventions were done by the defense minister. I would request the people of India to please support and convince the defense minister of India to please look at this file. I am sure if he looks at it once, this problem will get sorted.
And sir, a message to the Ministry of Defense, if you'd like to say something.
The current defense secretary, Dr. Ajay, he's very proactive, very pro-soldier. But I would just request him to please rein in the lower bureaucracy who unnecessarily object to all the benefits to the soldiers. And I hope this changes and the soldiers only have to fight the enemies at the borders and not the bureaucracy at the Ministry of Defense.
So, sir, I know that you yourself have gone through this. You were a disabled cadet, and you know how a disabled cadet feels when he or she is medically boarded out. ये तो आप जानते हैं. प्लस आपने इतने सारे जो डिसेबल्ड कैडेट ऑफिसर्स हैं उनसे आप पर्सनली मिले हैं, उनकी फैमिलीज को आप जानते हैं. क्या इम्पैक्ट पड़ता है इनकी फैमिलीज पे जब एक कैडेट डिसेबल हो जाता है परमानेंटली?
Madam, fortunately, my family was very strong. It did not impact my family that much. Or I would say my family didn't let me feel the impact on them. But ma'am, आप ये सोचिए कि एक हट्टा कट्टा जवान बच्चा जब सडनली एक तो जब सपना टूटता है तो वो चोट जो लगती है वो फिजिकली दिखाई नहीं देती, लेकिन वो इतनी गहरी चोट होती है कि उससे उभर पाना बहुत मुश्किल होता है. और जब एक बच्चा डिप्रेशन में चला जाता है, a person who cleared a UPSC exam, SSB interview, who was one of the top people in his friends, social circle, suddenly comes back as a reject, as a disabled person, lost so many years of his life. This psychological impact on him as well as the parents. Ma'am, most of these come from, most of the cadets come from middle class families.
Yes.
Now, ma'am, एक middle class family का लड़का जब एक आर्मी ऑफिसर बनने जा रहा होता है तो पेरेंट्स के लिए भी बहुत बड़ा गर्व की बात होती है. Yes. अब आप सोचिए वो गर्व की बात से जो मैं पेरेंट खड़ा होता है वो सडनली वो भी नीचे गिरता है. और मैम इस स्ट्रेस और ट्रॉमा से प्लस मैम उनके इमोशनल और फिजिकल ट्रीटमेंट के खर्चे, जैसे शुभम गुप्ता की बात बताई, शुभम गुप्ता इन एडिशन टू द एक्स ग्रेशिया गेट्स द डिसेबिलिटी अलाउंस प्लस अटेंडेंस अलाउंस, ये सब मिला के उसको 30-35 हजार रुपए पर मंथ मिलते होंगे. लेकिन मैम उससे ज्यादा उसको तो 24 घंटे एक अटेंडेंट की जरूरत है. वो तो अपने आप बिस्तर पे करवट भी नहीं ले सकता. तो 24 घंटे के अटेंडेंट का खर्चा ही इससे ज्यादा आ जाता है.
yes.
मैम उसकी फैमिली सपोर्ट कर पा रही है. एंड बोथ हिज पेरेंट्स आर वेरी ब्रेव पीपल. इन दे आल्सो हैव फाइनेंशियल स्ट्रेंथ टू डू इट. बट मैम जिसकी फाइनेंशियल स्ट्रेंथ नहीं है वो क्या करेंगे? वो तो आप पूरा परिवार बर्बाद हो जाता है इस एक दुर्घटना की वजह से.
एब्सोल्युटली सर, वही जैसे मैंने अपने प्रीवियस वीडियो में कहा था, घर का अपनी फैमिली का कोई एक मेंबर फीवर भी हो जाता है तो सब इतने परेशान हो जाते हैं. यहाँ तो आपका हट्टा कट्टा नौजवान होनहार बच्चा जो कल एक इंडियन आर्मी ऑफिसर बनने वाला था, आपका देश का नाम इतना रोशन करने वाला था, वो वापस आता है डिसेबल होकर, व्हीलचेयर बाउंड, क्वाड्रिप्लीजिक होके. मतलब हम सोच भी नहीं सकते हैं कि इन पेरेंट्स पर और इन बच्चों पर क्या गुजरती होगी. एंड आई फील पर्सनली कि ऑफ कोर्स जो जिन चीजों के लिए हम लड़ रहे हैं, जो है disability pension, ex-serviceman status and medical cover and rehabilitation, वो तो मिलना ही चाहिए. There is absolutely no doubt about that. Apart from that, उनकी proper mental health के लिए उनके लिए प्रोग्राम्स बनाने चाहिए जो उनको मेंटली भी वापस उस कॉन्फिडेंस में लेके आए जो डिसेबिलिटी से पहले था.
That's a very valid point because ये mental health issues unfortunately India में
हाँ.
बहुत इग्नोर किए जाते हैं. Interestingly, there is a cadet who he was not medically reported out, but he had medical issues and had to leave training. He is today walking the entire length of the country to raise awareness about mental health issues.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. It was such an honor talking to you. You have taught me so much, and I'm so glad that my viewers also got to learn so much from you, all the technicalities, all the details of what is happening regarding this cause. And thank you for championing this cause for so long. I hope and pray that our disabled officer cadets get justice as soon as possible.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Jai Hind, sir.
Jai Hind.